Hello viewers, welcome to a digital class, and this is Muhammad Abdul Rafi from RGD's online class. Today I am going to present an important topic of English second paper from class 9 and 10 syllabus. So are you ready? So let's move on. So look at each pair and find the difference. That means you are going to see some pairs of sentences and you are to find the difference. Of course, if you look attentively, you will find the physical difference. First pair, second pair, third pair, and the last pair. If you look at the sentences, then you will be able to find out the physical difference. That means keep your eyes on second sentences, and this is clue. So look at the words in the oval shape. Next, so these words are basically have made difference from the first sentence in each pair. So in short, the second sentence has an additional part after a comma, right? And it looks like a question. So do you know what they are called? No? These additional parts are called what? Question tag. So that's good. So students, today's topic is question tag. So before going in detail, let's try to find out the basic characteristics of tag questions. Okay. For this, we need to look at the examples precisely. He wants to do something for his nation, doesn't he? People come here for many purposes, don't they? So look at the underlined sentences. And next, look at the tag questions. So the sentence is affirmative, so tag question is negative. The same thing happens in the second sentence. So what we find here, if the statement is affirmative, so the tag question is negative. And of course, not is added to the helping verb in its contracted form. Remember this one. Next, number 3, the boys never speak the truth. The boys never speak the truth. Do they? Next sentence, you are not used to taking potatoes, underlined one, and look at the tag question. So in next two sentences, the statements are negative, but the tag questions which are given inside the rectangular shape are affirmative, right? So remember, if the statement is affirmative, the tag question is negative, and of course if the statements are negative, the tag question are affirmative. These affirmations and negations are shown through mathematical signs, plus, minus. Okay. So basic traits of tag questions are minus plus, that means if the statements are affirmative negative, the question tags are plus minus. It means if the statements are affirmative, the tag questions are negative. Next, helping verbs. So before making the question tags, you will have to find out the helping verbs, or you will have to understand the helping verbs of the statements. Next, if the tag questions are negative, of course you will have to add the word not to the helping verb in its contracted form, and of course subject must be a pronoun. There will be a comma before tag question. Already you have seen it in the previous examples, and of course a sign of interrogation at the end, as we know that tag questions behave like questions. Okay, next, so tag questions are small questions that often come at the ends of sentences in each piece and sometimes in formal writing, and tag questions are used to ask for agreement or confirmation. And one important point is that this is intonation, though we are not going to talk over this topic. Intonation is very important in tag questions, because we know that tag questions are speech oriented items which play an important role in conveying any message while speaking. Next, let's look at some more examples based on assertive sentence. And first one, money is a must for our life. Next one, the girl did her assignment. So first you will have to look at the helping verb. So can you identify the helping verb from the underlined statement? Yes, the helping verb is, so it will come first in making question tag is. And what about the formation of the sentence? Is it affirmative or negative? So it's clear that it's an affirmative sentence. So not will be contracted with is, so isn't. And the pronoun of tag question, of course, must come from the subject of the statement, money. So is it singular or plural? It's singular, so it. So this is tag question of money is a must for our life, and the tag question is isn't it. Okay, next, look at the second sentence. So is there any helping verb? No, there is no helping verb actually, but it is understood from its tense, and as the tense is present past indefinite tense, so the helping verb is did. As the statement is affirmative, so not will be added to the word did in contraction. And of course look at the subject of statement, the girl. This is singular, plural, of course singular, and it's of course feminine gender, so its pronoun will be what? She, right? Okay, so this is tag questions. The girl did her assignment. Okay, more examples. So Peter hardly goes to parties and she drank little water. Hello students, keep the steps that we followed in our previous examples. So Peter hardly goes to parties. So is there any helping verb, or you can gaze or understand the helping verb? Of course there is no visible helping verb. Rather, we can understand the helping verb from its tense, as it is present definite tense and verb is added, and there is es with the verb, so the helping verb will be does. So it will come here as, do you think that the statement is affirmative or negative? Negative or affirmative? So of course this is negative statement because of the presence of the word hardly. So we will explain this one later on. So it will be affirmative tag. So the subject of the statement Peter, its pronoun is of course he. So Peter hardly goes to parties, does he? This is tag question. And look at the second sentences. So there is also no helping verb. Rather, we are to understand as the tense of the statement is past indefinite, so its helping verb will be did, and as the statement is negative because of the presence of little, so it will be affirmative tag, and the pronoun of the subject of the statement is she. Itself is a pronoun, so is she. Okay, so she drank little water, did she? Now the question, now let me explain why these statements are basically negative. And look at the information. Non-negative tags are for negative words. So negative words, which are the negative words? Neither, none, none, nobody, nothing, scarcely, rarely, barely, hardly, seldom, little, few, two. These words are basically convey negative meaning, so their presence make the statement negative. From that point of view, the tag questions are affirmative tag, right? Okay, next, more examples. We're going to look at some more examples. There was not a single rickshaw, and there we saw some people. Just look at the first sentence. So is there any helping verb? Yes, of course. This is was. So now was will be here first, then the sentence is negative. Of course the tag will be affirmative, so you need not to add the word not. And of course the subject of the tag question will be there, so we're going to explain this one later on. Look at second statement. So there is no visible helping verb, of course. So as its tense is past indefinite tense, of course the helping verb will be did. We saw some people, saw past form, so tense is past indefinite. The did is its helping verb. As the statement is affirmative, so tag will be negative. Not is in its contracted form, and its subject is we, so the pronoun of tag question will be we here. So you may be confused about the presence of there in each sentences, though they are placed at the very beginning of a sentence, but the first there is different from the second there, because first one is introductory there, but there in second sentence is playing the role of an adverb. Look at the explanation. There becomes the subject if the statement starts with introductory there. So if the statement starts with there, which is used as an introductory there, so in this case the pronoun of tag question will be there. So this is all from this slide. Next examples. Anybody can't access him. Everybody should follow the government's instructions. In each sentence we find the helping verbs, and they are can and should. Of course they are from modal auxiliary verb, so as they are helping verbs, so they will also come in forming tag questions. Look at first one and the second one, shouldn't they? Okay, so first statement was negative, so the tag is affirmative, and the second statement is affirmative, so the tag question is negative, shouldn't they? Okay, so look at the explanation. So when you will find the words anybody, anyone, somebody, someone, nobody, none, no one as subject, their pronoun will be in tag questions they. Okay, next one. The unfit must be selected. The affected will be isolated first. So look at sentences, and of course the helping verb is must, so must will be there in tag questions. As the statement is affirmative, so the tag question will be negative, mustn't they? And the affected will be isolated first, the tag question will be aren't they, because the helping verb is will, and as the statement is affirmative, so the tag question will be negative. And of course you should remember that will and not become owned in contraction. In the same way, shall plus not becomes what? Shan't. Now you may be confused about the pronoun of the pronoun of tag questions. So the unfit must be selected, mustn't they? The affected will be isolated first, won't they? The explanation is later on. The plus adjective behaves like a plural common noun together, and the pronoun is they. So unfit, this is adjective, the adjective, so the affected there as pronoun, sorry, the adjectives, the plus adjectives, they are behaving like plural common noun, so they have got their pronoun they. Next one. The sister in her drew her attention. The fox in him made him indifferent. So first example, didn't it, as the statement is in past indefinite tense, so did, as the statement is affirmative, so not is also in its constructed form with did, and the subject is confusing. Okay, later on I am going to explain this, but before that look at second statement. It's a question, didn't it? The fox in him made him different. So we have understood so far. I think that you have understood, but confusing the pronoun of tag question, this is why. So the sister and the fox, the plus, look at the explanation, the plus father oblique mother oblique brother oblique sister oblique boy oblique girl oblique fox oblique common noun, they behaves like an abstract noun, so the pronoun is it. The sister this is not the sister, that this is sisterly feelings. So the plus sister together behaving like an abstract noun, sisterly feelings, so its pronoun is it, and the same thing in the next sentence. So you should remember that when the sister, the father, or the brother, or the sister, they will behave like an abstract noun. In this case, you will find this type of phrases shown inside the oval shape, in her or in him. So if you find this either of the two phrases, you must think that they are not behaving like a common noun, rather they are behaving like an abstract noun. Okay, so didn't it? And next, more examples. This is not a costly pen. These are nice pictures. So look at the first sentence. The helping verb is, and of course the statement is negative, so is, and the pronoun of this is it. Look at second one. Helping verb is are, affirmative, negative, affirmative, so negative tag, and the pronoun is they. So this is explanation. The pronoun of is oblique that is it, these or those is they. So for this you have found the pronoun of tags it and they. Next, to see is to believe. Planting trees is good for environment. So isn't it and isn't it? So I'm not going to give any explanation about isn't, rather I'm going to give explanation of the pronoun of tags, because this is the pronoun is it. In case of infinitive, gerund or clause, it means if you find infinitive, gerund or clause as a subject of any statement, of course their pronoun will be it, and this is why isn't it. To see, this is, and planting trees, so to see is infinitive, planting trees gerund. Okay, good, that's good. Let's move on. And this is feral. We're almost at the end from today. We're at the end, and so far you have learned, you have understood all the thing. You have any query, then just send comments, send your query in comment box, and we will meet you soon with part 2 of this topic. And last but not the least, stay home, stay safe.